Would you believe if I told you that the most disciplined economy in Europe, the one known for precision, punctuality, and perfect balance sheets, is quietly losing control? What if I told you that behind Germany's polished image, the luxury cars, the powerful factories, the export dominance, there's a system under strain, held together by assumptions that no longer hold? Germany isn't supposed to fail. This is the country that plans, that budgets, that engineers the future down to the millimeter. So why is growth stalling? Why are factories slowing? Why are energy bills exploding? And why are policymakers suddenly speaking in words like crisis, structural weakness, and lost competitiveness? Because perfection can hide fragility. For decades, Germany's economy ran like a machine. Cheap energy flowed in, exports flowed out, and stability became a national brand. But machines don't adapt. They break, slowly, quietly, when the world changes. A war thousands of kilometers away snapped an energy lifeline. Global competitors caught up and then raced ahead. The workforce began shrinking, infrastructure aged, and the economic miracle that once powered Europe started making unfamiliar noises. Nothing collapsed overnight. That's the danger. This isn't a story of sudden disaster. It's a story of quiet failure, of policies that worked until they didn't, of strengths that became weaknesses, of an economy admired for stability, now struggling with flexibility. And before we continue, if you enjoy videos that make you think, question the headlines, and occasionally laugh nervously at global economics, go ahead and like and subscribe. Don't worry, Germany would have planned for it. Now let's open the machine. Germany has always loved mirrors, not the kind you hang on walls, the kind nations stare into, admiring reflection, symmetry, order. For decades, Germany's reflection showed an economy that worked. Factories humming, exports flowing, budgets balanced, unemployment low. If Europe was a classroom, Germany was a student everyone copied from. And that's exactly why the cracks went unnoticed. Germany's modern economic miracle was built on repetition and reliability. The same supply chains, the same trade partners, the same energy sources. Efficiency was king, redundancy was waste, and resilience was optional. After all, why prepare for what had never gone wrong? This was the paradox at the heart of Germany's success. The more stable the system appeared, the less it questioned its own assumptions. Cheap energy arrived quietly, every day, through pipelines no one thought much about. Russia became not just a supplier, but a fixture, woven into industrial planning, heating systems, and long-term contracts. It felt permanent, predictable, almost boring, which is exactly how economic risk prefers to disguise itself. When the war in Ukraine erupted, Germany didn't just face a geopolitical shock, it faced a psychological one. Suddenly, the most reliable part of the system wasn't reliable at all. The mirror didn't shatter, it warped. Factories didn't collapse overnight. Lights didn't go out. Instead, something more unsettling happened. Confidence slipped, prices crept upward, planning horizons shortened. The economic machine began producing friction instead of certainty. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Germany didn't ignore warning signs. It rationalized them. Diversifying energy sources sounded expensive. Strategic redundancy sounded inefficient. Why fix something that had worked flawlessly for 30 years? Because flawless systems age poorly. Stability, when taken for granted, becomes fragility in disguise. Germany's economy wasn't broken. It was brittle, strong under pressure it understood, vulnerable to shocks it didn't expect. This chapter isn't about blaming decisions made decades ago. Those choices made sense at the time. But economics punishes confidence more harshly than mistakes. The mirror still reflects strength, but now it also reflects doubt. And once doubt enters a system built on precision, everything begins to feel slightly off balance. In few seconds, we will follow the energy itself, the pipelines, the prices, and the moment Germany learned how expensive certainty can become. Energy doesn't shout. It hums. It flows quietly beneath economies, powering factories, warming homes, and making modern life feel effortless. And in Germany, energy had become so dependable it faded into the background. Until it didn't. Before 2022, more than half of Germany's natural gas came from Russia. It fueled chemical plants, steel production, electricity generation, and millions of household boilers. This wasn't accidental. It was policy, decades of it, driven by logic that favored affordability over optionality. Cheap gas meant competitive exports. Competitive exports meant jobs. Jobs meant political stability. The math worked beautifully on paper. Then geopolitics rewrote the equation. When pipeline gas stopped flowing, Germany faced a problem it hadn't seriously planned for, replacing something massive, immediately and at any cost. There was no pause button. Industry doesn't wait patiently while governments improvise. Berlin responded with remarkable speed. LNG terminals were approved, built, and connected in record time. New suppliers emerged. Ships replaced pipelines. Infrastructure appeared almost overnight. It was impressive. It was also expensive. Liquefied natural gas costs more to extract, transport, and process. That cost didn't stay offshore. It landed directly in electricity prices, heating bills, and industrial input costs. German firms that once planned years ahead suddenly recalculated monthly. Some recalculated weekly. Households felt it too. Heating bills surged. Energy became dinner table conversation. People who had never thought about kilowatt hours started thinking about them a lot. Here's a strange contradiction. Germany avoided physical shortages, but couldn't avoid economic shock. The lights stayed on, yet the price of keeping them on rewired the economy. Industrial electricity prices jumped sharply. Margins shrank. Entire business models, designed for cheap, stable energy, became uncomfortable experiments. Some firms paused production. Others quietly relocated capacity abroad. Not dramatically, not loudly, just strategically. And that's what makes this moment dangerous. Germany's energy crisis wasn't cinematic. It was bureaucratic, contractual, spreadsheet-driven. The kind of crisis that doesn't trend online, but permanently alters competitiveness. Energy had once been Germany's silent advantage. Now it was a persistent question mark. The country gained independence from a risky supplier, a strategic win. But it lost the comfort of predictability, an economic cost that lingers. And energy, once invisible, now sits at the center of every decision. Because when power becomes expensive, everything built on it begins to feel heavier. Let's now step inside the factories, where higher costs collide with global competition, and Germany's industrial crown starts to wobble. Demography, labor, and slow in momentum. Economies don't age gracefully. They age numerically. Germany's challenge isn't population collapse. It's arithmetic. Fewer young workers, more retirees, a shrinking base supporting a growing top. For years, this problem sat comfortably in the future. Charts, projections, academic warnings. Something to deal with later. Later has arrived. Germany's workforce is aging faster than many peers. As experienced workers retire, fewer replacements step in. Immigration has helped, but not enough to fully offset the demographic curve, and not always in the skills Germany needs most. The result is a labor market that looks strong, but feels tight. Companies can't find workers. Not just any workers. Skilled ones, engineers, technicians, IT specialists, healthcare staff. Vacancies persist even as growth slows. It's an unusual tension. Labor shortages inside a cooling economy. Wages rise. That sounds good. And for workers, it often is. But when wages rise faster than productivity, costs climb without output keeping pace. Competitiveness erodes quietly. Productivity itself has become the elephant in the room. Germany, once synonymous with relentless efficiency gains, now sees slower productivity growth. Digitalization lags. Bureaucracy slows adoption. Innovation diffuses unevenly. The irony is sharp. Germany has the talent. It has the capital. But the system moves cautiously, sometimes too cautiously for a world that rewards speed. Meanwhile, demographic pressure strains public finances. more spending on pensions and healthcare, fewer contributors over time, less fiscal room for infrastructure, education, and innovation. Exactly what's needed to adapt. This isn't crisis economics. It's gravity. No headlines, no sudden collapse, just long-term drag. And drag, over time, reshapes destiny. Germany's economy isn't failing its people, but its people are becoming the limiting factor of the model. And that forces a deeper question. Can an economy built on precision survive without enough hands to run it? Germany prides itself on restraint, balanced budgets, controlled debt, no reckless spending. For years, this discipline looked like wisdom, but restraint, taken too far, can quietly starve the future. Germany's famous debt brake, written into its constitution, limited borrowing even when interest rates were near zero and infrastructure needed renewal. Roads aged, rail projects stalled, digital networks lagged behind peers who treated broadband like electricity, not luxury. Nothing collapsed. That's the danger. Trains still ran, just slower. Internet still worked, just unevenly. Power grids functioned until they needed rapid expansion. Underinvestment doesn't scream. It whispers. While other economies poured capital into digital infrastructure, automation, and next-generation manufacturing, Germany hesitated. Fiscal discipline became a comfort blanket. Safe, familiar, politically popular. But the world didn't wait. By the time energy shocks hit, Germany needed flexibility, fast spending, rapid upgrades, massive coordination. Instead, policymakers found themselves navigating legal constraints and budget debates while crises moved faster than parliamentary calendars. The irony is brutal. Germany saved during good times and paid more during bad ones. Infrastructure matters most when it's invisible. When it works, no one notices. When it lags, everything slows: logistics, innovation, productivity. Even the energy transition revealed this tension. LNG terminals had to be built at record speed because nothing was ready. Power grids required upgrades that should have started years earlier. Hydrogen ambitions raced ahead of physical capacity. Germany didn't lack money. It lacked momentum. And when competitors invested early, Germany paid late, often at higher cost. Fiscal caution once protected stability. Now it limits agility. This isn't about reckless spending. It's about timing. Investing too late doesn't preserve strength. It erodes it. Germany played defense in a world that switched to offense. And as infrastructure bottlenecks multiply, one uncomfortable truth emerges. You can't future-proof an economy with yesterday's caution. Let's now look outward to exports, global rivals, and a world that no longer waits for Germany to catch up. When the world stops buying the same story, Germany sells to the world. Or at least, it used to. Exports were the economy's heartbeat. Cars, machines, chemicals shipped across continents. When domestic demand slowed, foreign markets picked up the slack. It was elegant, reliable, almost unbeatable, until the world changed the rules. Global competition intensified. China didn't just become a manufacturing hub. It became a competitor in high-value goods, especially electric vehicles, where scale, speed, and cost reshaped the battlefield. German automakers didn't fail. They hesitated. While others expanded aggressively, Germany debated. Strategy meetings multiplied. Transition plans lengthened. Meanwhile, Chinese exports surged, filling showrooms with cheaper alternatives and rapidly improving quality. Market share slipped. Quietly, gradually. Energy costs made it worse. Higher production expenses meant higher export prices. In a world sensitive to cost, even premium brands feel pressure. And geopolitics complicated everything. Trade tensions, supply chain reshoring, regional blocs. The age of frictionless globalization faded. Germany's export model, built for openness and scale, now operates in a fragmented landscape full of tariffs, incentives, and political risk. Here's the contradiction. Germany remains one of the world's largest exporters, but exporting no longer guarantees growth. External demand isn't the safety net it once was. When everyone protects domestic industries, Germany's openness becomes exposure. The export machine still runs, just not at the same speed or with the same certainty. And when your economy is tuned to sell abroad, uncertainty abroad becomes instability at home. This isn't collapse. It's erosion, the kind that doesn't alarm immediately, but reshapes long-term outcomes. Let's now return home to public sentiment, politics, and how economic pressure rewrites the national mood. Economic stress doesn't stay in spreadsheets. It moves into kitchens, living rooms, voting booths. As prices rose, Germany felt it slowly, then sharply. Heating bills climbed. Electricity costs lingered above comfort. Groceries fell heavier on monthly budgets. This wasn't poverty. It was insecurity. People who had trusted stability began questioning it. Not dramatically, casually. Why does everything feel tighter? Became a common thought. Political consequences followed. Support for non-traditional parties grew. Protest votes multiplied. Economic dissatisfaction didn't need ideology. It needed explanation. And uncertainty provides one. Governments tried to cushion the blow. Subsidies, price caps, relief packages. Necessary but expensive. Each intervention raised another question. How much can the state absorb without weakening itself? Confidence became fragile. Consumers delayed spending. Businesses postponed hiring. Investors waited. And waiting, economically, is contagious. Germany's social contract, stability in exchange for patience, began to feel strained. Germany's energy future is being built under pressure. After losing Russian gas, the country didn't retreat, it pivoted. LNG terminals rose quickly. Renewable capacity expanded. Policy accelerated. It was impressive. It was also risky. Renewables grew fast, but not fast enough to fully replace fossil fuels. LNG filled gaps, but at higher cost. Hydrogen promised a future, but remains mostly promise. Germany is rebuilding its energy system while still relying on it. That's like replacing an engine while driving. The green transition offers opportunity, energy independence, technological leadership, climate credibility. But transitions are expensive before they're efficient. Industries must adapt. Households must absorb costs. Infrastructure must scale. And time is not generous. Germany is betting that today's pain secures tomorrow's resilience. That higher costs now lead to stability later. That innovation will outrun disruption. It might, but the window is narrow. If energy remains expensive too long, industry relocates. If transitions lag, competitiveness suffers. If costs fall unevenly, inequality grows. This isn't just an energy shift. It's an economic stress test. Germany is rewriting its model in real time, without pause, without certainty. And the outcome will define not just Germany, but Europe's future. Because when the continent's anchor economy changes course, everyone feels the movement. And in the final chapters ahead, we'll confront the deepest question of all, whether Germany's challenges are temporary turbulence or signs of a permanent transformation still unfolding. Chapter 9, Structural Fault Lines, the pressures that don't go away. Some problems don't arrive like storms. They sit quietly beneath the surface, patient, persistent, structural. Germany's most serious economic challenges fall into this category. Even if energy prices stabilize, even if global demand rebounds, even if geopolitics calms, the underlying math still doesn't change. The workforce continues to age. Productivity growth remains sluggish. Bureaucracy still slows decision-making. Innovation diffuses unevenly across regions and industries. These aren't temporary shocks. They're structural constraints. Institutions like the IMF and Germany's own economic councils have warned that the country's potential growth rate is declining, not collapsing, declining. And that distinction matters. A slow economy can look stable for years while quietly falling behind faster-moving peers. Regulation is part of the story. Germany prizes order, safety, and procedure, admirable values. But in an era of rapid technological change, those values can translate into delays. Permits take longer. Infrastructure approvals stretch into years. Startups face hurdles that discourage speed. Meanwhile, innovation ecosystems elsewhere move faster, attracting talent and capital. Labor shortages compound the problem. Fewer workers mean fewer hours, fewer innovations, fewer experiments. Immigration helps. But integration, recognition of qualifications, and social acceptance take time. Public finances feel the strain too. Aging populations demand more healthcare and pensions. That diverts resources from future-oriented investment. Fiscal room tightens just when flexibility is most needed. Here's the uncomfortable contradiction. Germany knows these problems well. Yet solving them requires political risk, cultural change, and long-term commitment beyond election cycles. Structural reform doesn't win applause. It wins results years later. And years are exactly what Germany is running short on. The danger isn't dramatic decline. It's gradual irrelevance. An economy that remains large, wealthy, and orderly, but no longer sets the pace. This chapter is the warning label. Not loud, not urgent sounding, but impossible to ignore if you read it carefully. Because structural issues don't explode. They accumulate. And once they define the system, reversing them becomes exponentially harder. Chapter 10. The future question. Reinvention or slow decline. Germany's economy isn't broken. That's the twist. It still produces, still exports, still educates, still functions. But the era of effortless excellence is over. For decades, Germany didn't need reinvention. It needed maintenance. The system was so well-engineered that small adjustments kept it running smoothly. Now, the adjustments aren't small anymore. Energy has become strategic, not cheap. Exports face rivals, not admirers. Labor is scarce, not abundant. Stability competes with speed. This is the moment where models either evolve or ossify. Germany stands at a crossroads. One path preserves caution, prioritizes order, and protects existing structures. It feels safe, familiar, comfortable. The other path demands risk, faster approvals, deeper reform, aggressive investment, and cultural shifts that challenge long-held assumptions. Neither path is painless, but only one leads forward. The real question isn't whether Germany can adapt. It has reinvented itself before, after war, after division, after reunification. The question is whether it can do so without a crisis forcing its hand. Because history shows something uncomfortable. Germany changes fastest when it has no choice. This time, the choice still exists. The energy transition could become a platform for leadership. Digitalization could unlock productivity. Immigration, if managed boldly, could stabilize demographics. Infrastructure investment could restore momentum. Or hesitation could stretch this moment into a decade of slow erosion. Not collapse, not disaster, just quiet relative decline. And that's the most dangerous outcome of all. Because when decline is silent, it's easy to deny. Germany's perfect economy isn't shattering. It's transforming, whether intentionally or not. And the decisions made now, in policy rooms, boardrooms, and voting booths, will determine whether this transformation becomes renewal or regret. So the question isn't what Germany was. It's what Germany chooses to become. And in the years ahead, the answer won't just shape one nation. It will shape Europe's future, quietly, decisively, just like Germany always